The spread to run offense is not only one of the most overpowered offensive schemes that we have seen in the NCAA on Saturdays, but it's also an amazing way to play offense in college football 25. So I wanted to build my own version of this offense designed to spread out defenses, but with the intention to use these spread looks to run the ball at a super high rate and feature it a ton. Then when defenses overplay to stop the run, we can unleash our spread passing attack. This scheme is also going to feature a ton of speed at all levels, and we're going to bring so many creative and dynamic ways to the table for you to move the football. So for my offense, I will recreate 3 historic teams that use the spread to run offense for you to use in college football 25. Each of these is going to be getting their own in-depth breakdown video showing you how you can play like the real offense did. Then this will all be run out of the USC Playbook, so even though they are distinct schemes, they are all meant to be combined into one offense that can be used at the same time. Now let's kick things off with the Oregon Ducks, the pioneers of the modern spread to run offense under the innovative guidance of Chip Kelly. From 2010 to 2014, Oregon's offense was a juggernaut that redefined college football. Known for their blistering pace, the Ducks ran an up-tempo, no-huddle offense that left defenses gasping for breath. They mastered the zone read option, allowing their quarterbacks to make lightning-fast decisions on the fly, and they had dynamic playmakers like LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas, and they could turn short gains into electrifying big plays. The offense wasn't just about spreading the field to pass, it was about creating space to run the ball down your throat. Using a blend of spread formations, RPOs, and constant motion, they kept defense guessing and on their heels. This explosive approach led them to multiple top 5 national rankings in scoring offense, 2 national championship appearances, and a Rose Bowl victory. Now, under Kelly and later Mark Helfrich, the Ducks set a new standard for offensive play in college football. Next up, we're going to dive into the West Virginia Mountaineers, a team that redefined explosive offense under the leadership of head coach Rich Rodriguez and quarterback Pat White. From 05 to 08, West Virginia's offense was a nightmare for defenses. They combined a powerful rushing attack with innovative spread concepts, utilizing a ton of zone read options and speed to create mismatches. Their unique triple option and RPO plays kept opponents constantly guessing, with defenders unable to key in on one aspect of their game. And this offense wasn't just fast, it was relentless, designed to wear down and outmaneuver defenses with sheer speed and athleticism. During this period, the Mountaineers consistently ranked among the top teams in points per game, peaking at number 3 nationally in 2007. And with Pat White's dual threat capabilities and a dynamic backfield featuring Steve Slayton, West Virginia has dominated their way to 2 BCS Bowl victories and left a lasting legacy as one of the most innovative and exciting offenses we have ever seen. Then lastly, we have the Clemson Tigers, an offensive powerhouse under the leadership of head coach Dabo Swinney and offensive coordinator Tony Elliott. With Trevor Lawrence at the helm from 2018 to 2020, Clemson's offense was a well-oiled machine that blended explosive passing with a potent ground game. Known for their dynamic RPOs and a quick read passing attack, the Tigers utilized Lawrence's exceptional arm talent and football IQ to stretch defenses vertically and horizontally. This offense was also marked by its versatility, with star running back Travis Etienne providing a lethal rushing option that complemented their high-flying aerial assault. Clemson's offense was consistently among the nation's elite, ranking in the top 4 nationally in points per game during Lawrence's tenure, and their success translated into 3 consecutive college football playoff appearances, 2 national championship games, and a national title victory in 2018. And now we're going to break down the spread to run principles that are going to run through each one of these 3 offenses. Now, first up, we have spreading out defenses to run the ball. Now, the primary goal of the spread to run offense is to spread out defenses to create running lanes. By aligning your offense in spread formations, we will force defenses to cover the entire field, often leaving safeties back and spreading defenders thin. And when defenses stay spread, it opens up the interior for a really easy run plays, leaving huge holes open for our run game to take advantage of, and we want to run the ball whenever we get these defensive looks. However, if the defense begins to condense down and not stay spread out, or they bring safeties down in the box to stop the run, this creates opportunities for quick screens to the outside or deep passes down the field. And this dynamic approach ensures that no matter how the defense adjusts, your offense can take advantage of them and keep them on their heels. Next up, we have zone read and RPO mastery. The core of this offense lies in the zone read and RPO plays. We can use RPOs to make quick reads on defensive alignments, and you can exploit mismatches and really just take advantage of any mistakes that defenses make. Then you can use read option runs with your QB to get our athletic playmaker in space where he can be super dangerous with the ball in his hands. And mastering these concepts is crucial for success and is going to be one of the driving force behind all three of these offenses. Next, we have motion and creativity, and these are going to be pivotal in the spread to run offense. This is going to allow us to get our playmakers into open space where they can excel. We're going to utilize pre-snap motion so you can manipulate defensive alignment and create favorable matchups on the outside. This movement can cause confusion and hesitation among defenders, opening up lanes for our athletes. We're going to have super creative play designs such as jet sweeps, motion screens, misdirection runs, and this is really going to push defenses to the limit and make it so they can never get a read on what we are trying to do. And by consistently getting our playmakers the ball in space, we will maximize their potential to break big plays and keep the defense on their heels. And lastly, we want to attack with the drop back spread pass game. In the spread to run offense, once defenses start overcommitting to stop the run, it is time to unleash the drop back spread pass offense. By spreading the field, you create natural passing lanes, and we will force the defense to cover every inch of the field. When safeties creep up and linebackers pack the box, it opens up opportunities for our quick, decisive passes to our receivers out in open space. Using concepts like mesh, wide cross, vertical routes, and deep post routes, we will exploit gaps left by an over-aggressive defense. Then if you want to take your college football game to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now, I have the first two videos for this spread to run offense. The first is going to be a 6-play mini scheme for empty base. This is going to be a super explosive pass offense that will be a great start for this scheme, full of a ton of vertical shots to push the ball down the field for big plays. Then the other video that is going to be up right now is going to be a great 3-play red zone mini scheme. This is designed to get you a ton of easy scores every time you get down inside the 10-yard line. Then there will be a ton more videos coming up that will be exclusive to Scheme Kings and that you can only find on the site. Then also on the site, we have 2 mini schemes up for the Bama Playbook on offense, and then a defensive mini scheme out as well. Then for what's coming up, the first offense we're going to be doing is we're going to kick it off with the Oregon Ducks spread to run offense, showing you how to play like the real life Ducks. Then on defense, we're going to feature Nick Saban's match defense, an incredible way to lock down your opponents, and it's going to be based on how the real life Tide dominated college football defensively, and that will start dropping next week. By subscribing to the site, you'll also get access to all my Madden 24 content. Plus, when Madden 25 drops, you'll receive all that content plus the NCAA stuff for one price. So for the site, you can purchase the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. Then I'm also running my spread to run offense sale on the site, and that will go until August 20th. You can use code SPREAD25 to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. So if you want to check out Scheme Kings, I will link it down below. Now, getting into the personnel we will use for this offense. Now, each scheme we release will be unique and have some different elements, but for the most part, the players we will use will overlap, so you want to target guys that fit these roles. So the first star in this offense is going to be our QB. All three of the offenses had superstars at the helm, with West Virginia and Pat White, who was one of the most explosive and dynamic running QBs we have ever seen. Then at Clemson, we had Trevor Lawrence, who had incredible arm talent and could make every downfield throw while also having the athleticism to make plays with his legs. Then lastly, at Oregon, they had Marcus Mariota, who was almost a mix of the two and could throw the ball all over the yard, but then could also take off and be a weapon in the design QB run game. And this led him to winning the Heisman at Oregon. So for our offense, I got the Marcus Mariota Ultimate Alumni card, and he is the speed that we need at this spot to make plays with his legs and a big enough arm to make every throw we need. Then the next driving force of the spread to run offense is going to be having a star running back. All three of these teams trended towards faster, more agile backs, starting with the Ducks, and they had LaMichael James, who is a superstar for Oregon, who was a house call waiting to happen and could make the defenders look silly in the open field. Then at West Virginia, they had Steve Slayton, who is an incredible college player and the perfect fit for this scheme, with his home run ability as a runner and then his ability to catch the football and make big plays as a weapon in the pass game. Then at Clemson, they had Travis Etienne, and he was one of the most dynamic weapons in college football, who along with Lawrence was the driving force behind everything that Clemson did offensively. So at our running back spot, I'm using the legend card for Marshall Faulk. He's the perfect back for this scheme with his ability to break tackles and use his speed to make some huge plays on the ground. Then he's an excellent receiver and we can use him as a dynamic weapon in the pass game. So for our number 3 receiver, we have our slot or gadget type player, and this position is built around speed and the ability to make people miss and be absolutely deadly with the ball in his hands, and we want him to be able to score from any area of the field. We will be using him a ton on jet sweeps and bubble screens, and we just want to get him this ball in space as much as possible. Now at Oregon, they had DeAnthony Thomas, who was one of the most electrifying college football players of all time, and he was used as a receiver down the field, but he also really excelled on bubble screens and jet motion where they could scheme him the ball in his hands and let him be dynamic. Then at West Virginia, they had Darius Renaud, who was a super underrated college player who was used in a ton of the same ways, and they would get super creative with the ways they could scheme the ball into his hands, and he was a great complement to Slayton and White. Then at Clemson, they had Hunter Renfrow, who was more of a receiver down the field who could separate from defenders and make plays, but he also was used in the RPO game with quick slants and bubbles as well. So for our slot receiver, I'm using the Hunter Renfrow in case you missed it card, and he's a great fit for this scheme and he'll line up in the slot most of the time. Now for the other players I'm using on offense, for my other 3 receivers, I went for all kind of speed players who are on the smaller side. I really wanted guys who are all interchangeable and can be used on screen passes and RPOs where they can make people miss in the open field to create rack yards, and I wanted guys who could get deep down the field and had the speed to get in behind defenders so we could create some big plays. Then at tight end, I wanted a balanced tight end who could block in the run game and move defenders off the ball, but then he also needs to be a good receiver because he's going to be our wide receiver 4 in quite a few formations, so he needs to be able to separate and make plays through the air. Then here's a look at the full lineup I'm using for this offense. You can pause here and take a closer look at all the players I am using. Now, once you get your full hands on this scheme, you are going to be unstoppable. But remember, there are the first 2 videos up for this offense right now on Scheme Kings, but then you are also going to need to get stops on defense. And I have a great blitzing mini scheme out for the double mug formation that is going to get a ton of pressure, and you can check that out right here.